And what are we up to today? What are we up to today? Today, back to the big mess. Today we're going to look at cabling, which has escalated quickly. Oh, so do we have a plan? Okay, where do we start with this? The two grey ones, that's a very high quality of cable. Run along there and into the roof. Up in the roof, up on the roof. We're going to have amplifiers and all that type of thing. All that type of malarkey. There's another 4 spare. Let's sit back. So these 4 go down that cable chase and hang right into the wall. They are plastered into the wall. That's OK cable, bog standard PA cable. However, I found the grey stuff and that's got an edge. So one of the most important things in audio is how high a quality of cabling you use. So the grey stuff's a winner, but we've got 4 extra. So the 4 go into the wall, run up into the roof. The amp rack's going to be behind that at some point. These white ones, what I thought was, say we wanted to change the monitors later on, it would be good to have another feed from the desk, which is going to be sitting someplace where Mr. Hoover is, to that back wall. So again, if you look here, you can see the white one. Let's zoom in on it, shall we? So there's one there, and there is kind of a white one over there in that big pile of spaghetti. So we've done 2 decent grey ones up onto the roof. That'll be the primary left and right out the desk into the amplifier. Got the 4 spares there, 2 whites. They can drive active subs or active speakers on that side or that side. What else have we got? What's this? Right. They are 2 data cables for the TV screen, which are coming out there. So TV screen's going to be up on that. What else have we got? Another thing I thought about was I don't want any amplifiers in the room because the fans make noises, but we may want to addition speakers, we may want to use addition amplifiers. So there's 2 heavy duty pieces of 4-core cable. Again, one's going that side and one's going that side. We can put an amplifier at the mixing desk, try popping the desk into these, and as I said, we can addition passive speakers. The white cables that are going over here will be for active cables. That's a star quad. There's 4 cores inside it and there's a heavy screen on it, so that's a decent piece of cable as well. We've got these 2 bits which will be for loudspeakers. It's 4-core cable. I believe it's either 2.5 or 4 mil per core. If I was driving a sub off it, I would put 2 cores together, solder them up, then put the other 2 cores together and solder them up. Then that would give you 8 mil running each way or 5 mil. Does that make sense? More copper the better. The box we've seen out in the hall is an analog snake. I think recording a drum kit out there could be good fun. Should get a nice big sound because it's a nice big space. So the box that I videoed initially, that's where that terminates as well. Then we move on to digital. Where are the digital cables? Where's my digital cables? There we go. There's two of them. Are these called Ethernet or something? There's three in total. Two of them run up onto the roof. One of them's going to be used if we're using a digital stage box outside the room to record drums and stuff like that. The other one's just left lying loose on the roof because at some point I want to build a room next door. And that'll be the first data connection between the listening room and a live room. So how are we getting on with this? We're close, aren't we? The third one of these runs into this back corner over here. Let's go and have a look at this. I'm wanting gubbins for headphones and places to plug microphones and jacks and all this type of stuff in over here. So yeah, that's a 4-core. 4-core analog snake. Again, this is real high quality of cables, so that'll be two running back to the desk. I can take two microphones, two DI boxes or whatever. I would prefer to record through these because that cable should sound marginally better than this cable, but that may be ideal for headphones. And there's the third digital cable. So if we go digital, we can put a digital box in here, and that'll be cool in the gang. Before I'm about to leave, I just come up for a few hours today, and I've run another 4-core cable across the back wall over to there. So the idea will be, there's a sofa going in the back wall. To one side of the sofa we'll have a little stage box where you can plug headphones or your guitar or a keyboard or whatever in. Over here will just be data and signal joy, and it will all come back and pop up under the mixing desk. The cables that are going to the roof, that's one of them. And that's not, we've got signal cables going to the roof, then these have terminated up there. That's 6mm, it's covered in paint and stuff, that doesn't matter. That's 6mm posh 2-core hi-fi cable, and is that 8 or 4? Oh. Focus, Mr. Camera, focus. Yeah, that's 4mm, and again that goes up in the roof. So analog out in the back of the desk, up onto the roof, hits an amplifier rack so we don't hear any noises from fan switching on and stuff like that. Hooked onto these pieces of loudspeaker cable. That's the analog snake for that stage box we had outside. That's the one that if we want to try auditioning other speakers, we can use that. And that's the one that's coming from the, it's not focusing at all, coming from the desk. Yeah, that looks like 2.5mm and that looks like 4mm. So again, I could pair them together to get up to 5. And that would give us a bit of whelly if we're driving bass. Anything else? I think that's it. So have I got to the point where I can button the floor back up? I think I have. I know, I said a couple of weeks ago I thought I'd get the floor back down, but I don't want to put the floor down. Then I don't want to put the floor down. Then think, damn, I forgot to put something in. However, between if we've got a digital snake over there, that'll give us full access to all the inputs and outputs in the back of the board, which will be ridiculous. It's 32 in and 16 back out. That's a lot of horsepower if I can't be bothered doing that, or I want to use the stage box someplace else. We've got all the analog stuff I can just plug directly into the back of the box. So if we had some ragu sauce, we could throw it over all this stuff. Make a nice little pasta dish. Home time for me. On other videos, I've said about it's good uploading things to YouTube, because if somebody's building a studio and they see me doing this, hit me up in the comments section and say, You forgot to do this at the next time, before I screw the floor down. If somebody else is building a studio, they can have a rough idea how I went about it. But later on, I've now got a record of how I ran all the cables, which ones go where, and it should be easy enough for me to dig in and fix things or repair any problems, or maybe even add more to it if need be. Does that make sense? Right, it's home time. So I'm fairly confident I've over-spec'd the life out of this. I've not buttoned this bit of the floor up yet because I need to get the mixing desk in, get some monitors set up, have a listen, work out where the best bass response in the room is, to try to get the engineer in the right spot. So that's maybe, what, 5 foot long or something. We've got the potential to move the mixing console 5 foot in either direction to get to the sweet spot with the loudspeakers. The only other thing I'm paranoid about is when I go to screw these boards down, just if I drilled a screw, imagine what I accidentally screwed into that thing. They things used to cost a lot of money, you know, so, and it's not just that. I've now lost 16 inputs from the workshop and 4 returns. I don't want to do that either. As long as I'm careful putting these boards down, I think I've done all the cabling that I need. The last one, there's some twin and earth there to run the mains. I'll put a couple of sockets below the board to get a sound system working. You need signal cable, you need mains, you need power, and you need loudspeaker cable. If you're using active PA boxes, you only need power and signal. I think I've covered the bases and I've given us the opportunity to, I'm a speakerhead, I've got more speakers than I would ever admit. If I get the opportunity to try out some really nice loudspeakers, I can do it actively or passively. The other thing I need to do is stick some more sockets over to the wall so we can powered speakers up and that type of thing. But I've said it before, I don't know what will happen, but I'm fairly convinced I can button that floor up now. Or button up to a point where we can get the desk in and some monitors and have a listen and work out where the sweet spot is. So this isn't how to wire up a recording studio, this is how I've tried to wire up my little listening room project. The other thing I would say is I've tried to keep the digital data cables away from loudspeaker cables. I've kept the mains away from the audio cables. They're on a different path. So I'm hoping the interference between mains, digital and analog will be minimal. Thank you all for watching. Bye.